Meet Michael. At 52, he thought he was too late to fix his retirement savings. With only $180,000 saved, he was looking at a retirement filled with budget cuts and part-time work. 5 years later, he's on track for over $1 million by 65. What changed? He discovered the hidden advantages that kick in after 50. Today, I'm breaking down the exact strategy Michael used, the same blueprint that could turn your pre-retirement decade into a wealth explosion rather than a countdown to disappointment. The $1 million retirement gap. Why most Gen Xers are headed for trouble. 86% of Gen Xers don't think they've saved enough for retirement. But here's the shocking part, they're right. Let's talk about the retirement crisis happening right now with Gen X. If you're in your 40s or 50s, this might hit close to home. The typical Gen X household has saved just $40,000 for retirement. Yes, you heard that right, $40,000 total. Not per year, not per person, total. Now compare that to what financial experts say you actually need, around $1 million to maintain your current standard of living through retirement. That's not for some lavish lifestyle with yachts and vacation homes. That's just to keep living the way you're living now. We're looking at a $960,000 gap for the average Gen Zer. And that's not just a number on a spreadsheet. It's the difference between retiring with dignity or working well into your 70s. Why is Gen X struggling so much? They're caught in the perfect financial storm. They're the sandwich generation, taking care of aging parents while still supporting adult children who can't afford to live independently in today's economy. Many are still paying off their own student loans while trying to save for their kids' college. They survived multiple recessions, including the 2008 financial crisis that wiped out home equity, just as many were hitting their peak earning years. Gen X was also the first generation to experience the shift from pension plans to 401(k)s, but without proper financial education to navigate this new responsibility. They were told to save, but nobody showed them how to invest effectively or how much they'd really need. The psychological impact of this gap is devastating. Many Gen Zers look at the mountain they need to climb and simply give up. They fall into what financial psychologists call retirement fatalism, the belief that it's too late to make any meaningful difference. So why even try? They either avoid thinking about retirement altogether or assume they'll just work until they physically can't anymore. This mindset leads to real consequences. A recent study found that nearly 70% of Gen Zers expect to delay retirement by at least 5 years from their original plans. 1 in 4 believes they'll never fully retire. And for those who do retire without adequate savings, the lifestyle downgrade can be severe, moving to cheaper locations, cutting essential expenses like healthcare, even facing food insecurity. What most people don't realize is that this reality isn't inevitable. Your 50s actually represent your most powerful wealth-building window, but almost nobody takes full advantage of it. Think about it. Your 50s are when you're likely earning the most money you've ever made. Your biggest expenses, like raising kids or paying for a home, might be winding down. You've got experience and perspective that your younger self didn't have. And most importantly, you still have enough time to make dramatic changes if you use the right strategies. Here's a fact that financial advisors don't emphasize enough. The final decade before retirement can represent up to 40% of your total retirement wealth accumulation. That's right. Nearly half of your retirement nest egg can be built in the last 10 years before you stop working. This happens for several reasons. First, your contributions during these years often far exceed what you could save in your 20s and 30s when you were juggling mortgages and childcare costs. Second, by this point, you have decades of compound interest already working in your favor, supercharging every additional dollar you invest. And third, there are special catch-up provisions built into retirement accounts specifically designed for people over 50, provisions that can add hundreds of thousands to your retirement. Let me give you a quick example. Someone who starts seriously focusing on retirement at age 52 can transform their financial future in just 8 to 10 years. Even if they've only saved that average of $40,000 so far, with the right strategies and maximum use of catch-up contributions, they could potentially add another $400,000 to $600,000 by age 62. That's not counting Social Security optimization and other strategies we'll discuss later. I recently spoke with Maria, a 54-year-old marketing manager who had just $63,000 saved for retirement 3 years ago. She was convinced she'd be working until at least 70, after implementing some of the strategies I'll share. In this video, she's now on track to have over $700,000 by age 62, enough to give her options she never thought she'd have. What's even more surprising is that many of these powerful strategies are relatively simple. They don't require you to become a stock-picking genius or take massive risks with your money. They're available to pretty much anyone who reaches their 50s, but few people take full advantage of them. For instance, did you know that after age 50, you can legally contribute thousands more to your retirement accounts each year? Or that a specific Social Security claiming strategy could potentially add $100,000 plus to your lifetime benefits? Or that there's a brand new super catch-up provision that kicks in at age 60 that almost nobody knows about? These aren't gimmicks or get-rich-quick schemes. They're established financial strategies specifically designed for people in their pre-retirement years. But most Gen Zers never learn about them because financial education tends to focus on people just starting their careers, not those in their final wealth-building decade. The good news is that it's absolutely not too late to transform your retirement outlook. The bad news is that you can't wait any longer to get started. Every year that passes without using these strategies is potentially tens of thousands in lost retirement income. The pre-retirement mindset shift, from panic to power. You might think you're making rational financial decisions in your 50s, but your brain has other plans. The moment retirement panic sets in, a fascinating psychological phenomenon takes over that pushes people toward one of two equally destructive paths. Understanding this mindset trap is the difference between retiring comfortably or working forever. Let's be honest about what happens when most people hit their 50s and realize retirement is approaching fast. They check their savings, do some quick math, and experience what I can only describe as financial panic. That moment of realization triggers something psychologists have studied extensively, a fight-or-flight response that fundamentally changes how you make decisions. What's truly fascinating is how this panic manifests in completely opposite behaviors. Some people become ultra-conservative, hoarding cash like it's the apocalypse. Others swing to the extreme opposite, taking wild risks in desperate attempts to make up for lost time. Both reactions stem from the same psychological trigger, and both can be devastating to your retirement prospects. Did you know that the average Gen Zer keeps about 32% of their retirement assets in cash? That's nearly a third of their nest egg sitting there, barely keeping pace with inflation, let alone growing. This conservative approach comes directly from that fear response, but it's silently eroding their future financial security. The science behind this is eye-opening. When financial anxiety kicks in, your cognitive ability literally decreases. Your brain shifts resources away from rational decision-making centers and toward emotional processing. This creates a brutal downward spiral. The more anxious you feel about retirement, the worse your financial decisions become, which creates more anxiety, and the cycle continues. But here's where it gets interesting. Only 27% of Gen Zers currently work with a financial advisor. The remaining 73% are navigating these complex waters alone, often with that reduced cognitive capacity I just mentioned. It's like trying to perform surgery on yourself while having a panic attack. Not exactly a recipe for success. This goes deeper than just practical knowledge. Gen Zers are known for being independent and self-reliant, which are generally positive traits, but can become liabilities when they prevent you from seeking guidance during this critical phase. The very qualities that helped you succeed in your career might be sabotaging your retirement. What separates those who thrive in their pre-retirement years from those who struggle? Research points to a specific mindset shift that makes all the difference. It's moving from thinking it's too late to viewing these years as your final opportunity. This subtle but powerful reframing transforms how you approach financial decisions. Those who make this mindset shift are significantly more likely to take advantage of catch-up contributions and other retirement planning tools. They stop seeing themselves as victims of time and start recognizing the unique advantages they actually have at this stage of life. And those advantages are substantial. Your 50s typically come with greater career stability than any previous decade. You're likely at or near your peak earning years, with decades of experience and networking behind you. This stable income provides a foundation for aggressive saving that wasn't possible earlier in your career. Not only that, but many people in their 50s are experiencing reduced financial obligations. Maybe your mortgages, paid off or nearly there. Perhaps your kids have finished college or are supporting themselves. These changes free up significant cash flow that can be redirected toward retirement planning. But the most overlooked psychological advantage? The clarity that comes with age. You've lived enough life to know what truly matters to you. You're less likely to waste money on status symbols or trying to keep up with others. This clarity allows for more focused, intentional financial decisions aligned with your actual values. The worst part about the retirement panic trap is that it hits precisely when you have access to financial tools that weren't available to you before. It's like finally getting the keys to a sports car, but being too afraid to drive it. The financial system actually provides special advantages to people over 50, but most never use them because they're caught in this mindset loop. Let me share something that financial advisors see all the time, but rarely discuss publicly. When working with new clients in their 50s, advisors often discover that these clients have been making one of two critical errors for years, either hiding money in ultra-safe but low-return vehicles, or chasing unrealistic returns through risky investments. What's particularly frustrating is that this age group has access to powerful wealth-building tools that younger people don't. But because they're caught in the panic trap, they miss these opportunities entirely. The financial system is actually designed with special advantages for people over 50, but most never use them. Here's what's truly shocking about retirement planning in your 50s. The rules actually change in your favor, but nobody tells you about it. The government provides special provisions specifically designed to help people in their pre-retirement years accelerate their savings, but these advantages remain hidden in plain sight for most people. The IRS actually wants you to catch up on retirement savings. That's why they've created special provisions that allow you to contribute significantly more to retirement accounts after age 50. These aren't small bonuses either. They're substantial increases in contribution limits that can dramatically change your retirement outlook. What catches most people off guard about retirement planning in their 50s isn't that it's too late. It's that they've been playing by the wrong rulebook entirely. The game actually changes in your favor once you hit 50, with special catch-up provisions, tax advantages, and strategies that simply weren't available to you before. Most people miss these opportunities because they're still operating with outdated assumptions about what's possible. Catch-up contributions, the hidden retirement accelerator. The game changes at 50. But did you know there's a specific financial loophole that's literally called a catch-up? While everyone's panicking about being behind, the IRS quietly created a backdoor that lets you legally stuff thousands of extra dollars into retirement accounts. And the numbers are shocking when you see them on paper. Most people have no idea that once they hit the big 5 to 0, they've unlocked special contribution privileges that younger folks simply don't have access to. It's like getting a VIP pass to an exclusive financial club, except this one can potentially add 6 figures to your retirement savings. Let's talk real numbers here. In 2025, if you're 50 or older, the IRS lets you contribute an additional $7,500 to your 401k plan. That's on top of the standard $23,500 limit everyone gets. So while your younger coworkers are capped at $23,500, you can pump in a total of $31,000. That's not just a small bump. It's a massive 32% increase in what you're allowed to save. And it doesn't stop with your 401k. For IRAs, once you're 50, you get an extra $1,000 contribution allowance. This means instead of the standard $7,000 limit, you can put away $8,000 in 2025. Sure, $1,000 might not sound like much, but when you factor in compound growth over 10 to 15 years, we're talking about thousands in additional retirement funds. What's truly mind-blowing is how few eligible people actually take advantage of these catch-up contributions. Thousands of dollars in tax benefits go unclaimed every single year because people either don't know about them or don't prioritize them. Think about it. These are literally free financial benefits the government is offering exclusively to people in their 50s and beyond. Here's what makes this opportunity so powerful: the timing. These catch-up provisions kick in precisely when you're likely at your peak earning years. Your kids might be out of college, your mortgage might be mostly paid off, and you're probably at the height of your career earnings. It's the perfect financial storm, in a good way. Let's crunch some numbers to see the impact. Say you max out just the 401k catch-up contribution of $7,500 annually from age 50 to 65. That's an extra $112,500 in contributions alone. But factor in a conservative 6% annual return, and that extra money grows to about $175,000 by retirement. All from money your younger colleagues couldn't even contribute if they wanted to. The tax advantages are equally impressive. These additional contributions reduce your taxable income for the year, potentially saving thousands in taxes. If you're in the 24% tax bracket, maxing out your 401k catch-up contribution saves you $1,800 in federal taxes every single year. That's money that would otherwise go straight to the IRS. But I can't afford to save that much, you might be thinking. Here's where strategy comes into play. Even partial catch-up contributions make a difference. If you can only add an extra $3,750, half the maximum catch-up amount, to your 401k, that's still potentially $87,500 more in your retirement account over 15 years with modest growth. Let's not forget about simple plans either. If you work for a smaller employer that offers a simple IRA instead of a 401k, you still get catch-up benefits. The IRS allows a $3,500 catch-up contribution for simple plans in 2025. That's in addition to the standard contribution limits for these accounts. The power of these catch-up contributions becomes even more apparent when you consider the compressed time frame. Unlike someone in their 30s who might have 30-plus years for their money to grow, you're working with a shorter runway. These catch-up provisions help compensate for that shorter time horizon by allowing you to pack more money into tax-advantaged accounts in less time. Here's a strategy most financial advisors recommend. If you get a raise or bonus after 50, immediately direct that money toward your catch-up contributions before lifestyle inflation eats it up. Since you've been living without that money already, you won't miss it. But your future retired self will certainly notice the difference. The psychology behind these catch-up provisions is fascinating too. The Secure 2.0 Act's provisions were specifically designed to address the unique challenges faced by older workers. Lawmakers recognize that many people hit their 50s and suddenly realize retirement is approaching faster than expected. Rather than leaving these individuals to panic, they created legal pathways to accelerate retirement savings. What about employer matches? That's another layer of potential benefit. Some employers match catch-up contributions, essentially giving you free money on top of your already advantageous contribution limits. It's worth checking with your HR department to confirm your company's policy on matching catch-up contributions. When we step back and look at the entire picture, the math becomes undeniable. If you're putting in an extra $7,500 into your 401k and an additional $1,000 into your IRA each year, that's $8,500 in additional annual contributions. Over 15 years, with reasonable investment returns, this could potentially add well over $150,000 to your retirement savings. The catch-up contribution system is essentially an acknowledgement from the government that saving for retirement is challenging, and many people need a boost in their later working years. It's rare to see the tax system working so clearly in your favor, which makes it even more puzzling why more eligible people don't take full advantage. Let's put this in perspective. If you had a time machine that could transport you back to your 30s, what financial advice would you give yourself? Most people say they'd tell their younger selves to save more. Well, catch-up contributions are the next best thing to a time machine. They give you a legal way to make up for lost time. How much extra money can you legally add to retirement accounts after 50? The answer is substantial. $7,500 extra in 401k, $1,000 extra in IRAs, plus additional HSA contributions if you qualify. Combined, these catch-up provisions can potentially add $100,000 or more to your retirement nest egg, even if you only have 10 to 15 years until retirement. The Super Catch-Up, age 60-63's secret wealth builder. Think those standard catch-up contributions are impressive? There's actually a hidden 4-year window between ages 60 to 63 where you can legally turbocharge your 401k contributions beyond what anyone else can contribute. The government recently created this financial superpower exclusively for people in this specific age bracket, and it lets you contribute nearly $4,000 more than the regular catch-up amount. Yet amazingly, 97% of eligible Americans have no idea this opportunity exists. This game-changing provision comes from the Secure 2.0 Act, which created what financial experts are calling the super catch-up contribution. While normal catch-up contributions are already helping many people bolster their retirement savings, this enhanced version takes things to a whole new level specifically for those in their early 60s. Let me break down exactly how this works. Starting in 2025, if you're between ages 60 to 63, you'll be allowed to contribute up to the greater of $10,000 or 150% of the regular catch-up limit to your 401k. With the regular catch-up limit at $7,500, that means you can add a whopping $11,250 extra to your retirement accounts each year during this 4-year window. This is significantly more than the standard catch-up amount we discussed earlier. Let's put this in perspective. Regular 401k participants under 50 can contribute $23,500 annually. Those over 50 can add an extra $7,500 through the standard catch-up provision. But if you're in this golden 60 to 63 age window, you can contribute an additional $11,250 on top of the standard contribution limit. That's a potential total of $34,750 per year going into your 401k. The timing of this super catch-up couldn't be more perfect. These are your final high-earning years before retirement, often when your expenses have decreased because your mortgage might be paid off or your kids have left the nest. This creates the perfect storm of opportunity. More disposable income right when the government allows you to put more of it into tax-advantaged accounts. Let's look at what this means in real dollars. Contributing an extra $11,250 annually over 4 years adds up to $45,000 in additional contributions. But that's just the beginning. When invested, that money has the potential to grow significantly. Even with conservative growth estimates, that $45,000 could potentially grow to over $150,000 by the time you're in your late 70s or early 80s. And that's assuming you're starting from scratch at age 60. If you've already been diligently saving throughout your career, this super catch-up becomes the turbo boost at the end of your retirement savings journey, potentially adding that critical extra cushion that could be the difference between a tight retirement budget and one that allows for more comfort and flexibility. Now, there are some important requirements you should know about. First, to be eligible for these super catch-up contributions, you must have already contributed the maximum amount under the general annual deferral limit. In other words, you can't just use the super catch-up provision. You need to be maxing out your regular contributions first. Second, this provision applies to several types of retirement plans, including 401k, S, 403b, S, and governmental 457 plans. So whether you work for a corporation, a nonprofit, or a government entity, you might have access to this powerful savings tool. But here's something crucial that many people don't realize. This super catch-up isn't automatically available to everyone. Your employer must specifically amend their retirement plans to accommodate these new contribution limits. This means implementation might vary widely across different workplaces. In fact, employers face some significant administrative challenges with this new provision. They'll need to update their payroll systems to track different age categories and contribution limits effectively. Some employers might hesitate due to the complexity, which means you might need to be proactive about requesting this benefit. This brings me to an important action step. Talk to your HR department or benefits coordinator now, even if you're not yet 60. Ask them specifically about their plans to implement the super catch-up provision from the Secure 2.0 Act. Getting this conversation started early could make the difference between having this option available to you when you reach 60 or missing out entirely. The IRS has provided guidance that these super catch-up contributions won't be subject to the annual additions limit under Internal Revenue Code sections. This is technical, but it essentially means there aren't hidden restrictions that would prevent you from making the full contribution. Now, let's address a few common questions that come up about this provision. Do I need to be employed full-time to take advantage of this? No, but you do need to have earned income at least equal to your contribution amount. This means even if you transition to part-time work in your early 60s, you might still be able to make these contributions. What if I turn 60 in the middle of the year? The eligibility is based on your age at the end of the calendar year. So if you'll be 60 by December 31st, you can make the super catch-up contribution for that entire year. Can I make super catch-up contributions to both my 401k and IRA? The super catch-up provision specifically applies to employer plans like 401k. IRAs have their own catch-up provisions, but they don't have this enhanced super version for the 60 to 63 age bracket. To maximize this opportunity alongside your other retirement strategies, consider reworking your budget to free up additional cash flow during these critical 4 years. You might postpone certain discretionary expenses or consider working just a bit longer to fully capture this unique 4-year opportunity. Another strategy is to combine this with Roth conversions if appropriate for your situation. Since the super catch-up allows you to shield more income from taxes during your high-earning years, you might simultaneously have room to convert some traditional IRA assets to Roth, creating tax diversification for your retirement income. So what is the super catch-up contribution and how much could it add to your retirement? In short, it's a limited-time opportunity between ages 60 to 63 to contribute an extra $11,250 annually to your employer retirement plan, potentially adding $150,000 or more to your retirement fund when you factor in investment growth. This 4-year window represents one of the most Social Security timing, the $250,000 decision. That 4-year super catch-up window is powerful, but here's something that could impact your retirement even more dramatically. The timing of when you claim Social Security. Would you believe this single decision could be worth over $250,000 in lifetime benefits? It's true, and yet 43% of Xers are planning to claim early, potentially leaving $250,000 on the table. Let's dive into what might be the most expensive financial decision you'll ever make. When it comes to Social Security, timing is everything. Most people know they can start collecting benefits at 62, but what they don't realize is the permanent penalty they're accepting by jumping in early. If you're entitled to a $2,000 monthly benefit at your full retirement age, claiming at 62 slashes that amount by up to 30%. That's not a temporary reduction, it's for life. On the flip side, every year you delay claiming past your full retirement age increases your benefit by 8%. Wait until 70, and you're looking at a stunning 76% more in monthly benefits compared to claiming at 62. This isn't a small tweak to your retirement plan. It's a game changer that could mean the difference between a comfortable retirement and constantly worrying about money. Let's put some real numbers to this. Say your full retirement age benefit would be $2,000 per month. Claim at 62, and you might get just $1,400. But wait until 70, and that same benefit jumps to $2,480 per month. That's an extra $1,080 every single month for the rest of your life. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what if I don't live long enough to make waiting worth it? Fair question. The break-even age is typically around 82. If you live beyond that age, delaying benefits puts more money in your pocket overall. And here's where most people miscalculate. They severely underestimate their own longevity. A man turning 65 today has an average life expectancy of 87, while a woman has an average life expectancy of 89. That means most people will live well past the break-even point. Think about your own family history and health status. Many of you might live into your 90s, making the case for delayed claiming even stronger. The math is pretty striking. That $1,080 monthly difference between claiming at 62 versus 70 adds up to nearly $13,000 extra per year. Over 20 years, that's $260,000 in additional income, and that doesn't even account for cost of living adjustments, which magnify the difference even further. So why are 43% of Xers planning to claim early? Many cite fears that Social Security will run out of money. While the program does face funding challenges, even the worst-case scenario still allows for approximately 75% of promised benefits to be paid. Claiming early based on this fear means you're guaranteeing yourself a reduction for a scenario that likely won't materialize in the drastic way many people fear. Others claim early because they need the money. If you truly have no other options, then yes, claiming early might be necessary. But before making that decision, exhaust every other possibility. Working even part-time for a few extra years or tapping other assets first could preserve your ability to maximize this valuable benefit. What many people don't realize is that Social Security is essentially longevity insurance. It's the only retirement income source that's guaranteed to increase with inflation and continue for as long as you live, even if that's 30+ years. By maximizing this benefit, you're creating a more secure foundation for your entire retirement plan. For higher earners especially, maximizing Social Security has tax benefits too. While up to 85% of Social Security benefits may be taxable depending on your income, they still receive more favorable tax treatment than many other retirement income sources. This means the real value of maximizing Social Security is even greater than the numbers suggest. The Social Security Administration reports that the average monthly benefit for retired workers is about $1,780. If delaying claiming increased this by 76%, that's an extra $1,353 monthly. Over 20 years, that's $324,720 in additional lifetime benefits, a life-changing amount that most people leave on the table. What's particularly fascinating is how this decision becomes more critical for women. Women typically live longer than men and often have lower lifetime earnings, making Social Security an even larger portion of their retirement income. For married women, maximizing spousal and survivor benefits through proper claiming strategies can make an enormous difference in financial security, especially in their later years. Your 50s is when you should start mapping out your Social Security strategy. It's not too early. In fact, it's the perfect time to incorporate this decision into your broader retirement planning. Understanding exactly how much your benefit will be at different claiming ages gives you a clear target for your other retirement savings. Let me be clear about something. Delaying Social Security doesn't necessarily mean delaying retirement. They're two separate decisions. You could retire at 65, but live off savings for a few years while letting your Social Security benefit grow. This bridge strategy is something few people consider, but it can significantly increase your lifetime income. So how much more could you get by waiting until 70? Your monthly benefit could reach up to 132% of your full retirement age amount. That's not a typo. You could literally increase your guaranteed lifetime income by a third just by being strategic about when you claim. This isn't about sacrificing your early retirement years either. It's about maximizing your financial security throughout retirement, especially in those later years when healthcare costs typically rise and other assets may be depleted. Think of delayed claiming as buying yourself peace of mind for your 80s and 90s. Before you decide when to claim, get a personal analysis. Your optimal claiming strategy depends on your specific circumstances, your earnings history, marital status, health, and other income sources. The Social Security Administration provides benefit estimates, but working with a financial advisor who specializes in retirement income planning can help you see the full picture. Spousal coordination, maximizing Social Security as a team. Your marital status doesn't just affect your tax returns. It can dramatically transform your Social Security strategy. While singles have one claiming decision to make, married couples face a complex puzzle that, when solved correctly, could add hundreds of thousands to your retirement income over your lifetime. Think of Social Security claiming for married couples as a team sport rather than two individual decisions. When spouses treat their benefits as separate choices, they're potentially leaving money on the table, a lot of money. Most couples make a critical mistake. They focus on maximizing their individual benefits without considering how their decisions affect their combined lifetime income. This uncoordinated approach can cost couples up to 30% of their potential lifetime benefits. That's not just a small oversight. It's potentially forfeiting a vacation home, extensive travel plans, or years of financial security. Here's where things get interesting. As a married couple, you have access to a wider range of claiming strategies than singles do. The Social Security Administration allows married individuals to claim benefits based on their partner's earnings record, which creates powerful planning opportunities. This spousal benefit can be up to 50% of your higher-earning spouse's benefit at their full retirement age. Let's break down what this means in practical terms. If you're a couple with significantly different earning histories, the lower-earning spouse might benefit more from claiming spousal benefits than from their own work record. This is especially powerful when one spouse has been the primary breadwinner, while the other perhaps worked part-time or took time away from their career to raise children or care for family members. This coordination becomes even more important when you consider various scenarios couples face. For instance, if there's a significant age gap between spouses, you might implement what experts call a split strategy. One spouse claims early while the other delays until 70. This approach provides immediate income while still maximizing the delayed retirement credits on at least one benefit. For couples with similar incomes and ages, both delaying their claims until age 70 could lead to significantly higher monthly income during your retirement years. But this isn't right for everyone. Your health conditions, family longevity, and financial needs all play crucial roles in determining the best approach. One particularly effective strategy involves having the higher earner delay claiming until 70 to maximize survivor benefits. Here's why this matters. When one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse can either keep their own benefit or switch to a survivor benefit based on their deceased spouse's benefit amount. By maximizing the higher earner's benefit through delayed claiming, you're essentially purchasing a more valuable insurance policy for the surviving spouse. Let me illustrate with a case study that shows the power of coordination. Consider Michael and Jennifer, both 62 with different earning histories. If they each claimed their own benefits at 62, which is what 94% of couples do, they'd receive a combined $3,200 monthly. But through a coordinated strategy where Jennifer claimed her reduced benefit at 62 while Michael waited until 70, they increased their lifetime benefits by a staggering $320,000. That's not just extra money. That's potentially funding an additional decade of comfortable retirement. This type of strategic planning is particularly important because only 11% of non-retired Xers currently plan to wait until age 70 to claim Social Security. Many fear the program might run out of money, leading to premature claiming decisions that permanently reduce their benefits. The reality is that even with the well-publicized funding challenges, Social Security will continue to pay benefits. The worst-case scenario without any legislative changes would still provide about 76% of promised benefits after 2033. Making claiming decisions based on unfounded fears rather than strategic planning could cost you dearly. It's also worth noting that while 27% of Xers work with a financial advisor, many advisors lack specialized knowledge in Social Security claiming strategies. This is an area where finding an advisor who specifically understands the intricacies of Social Security coordination can make a tremendous difference. For couples to maximize their benefits, regular review of their Social Security claiming strategies is essential. Your optimal strategy may change as your health, finances, or retirement plans evolve. Treating this as a dynamic decision rather than a one-time choice ensures you're adapting to your changing circumstances. Here's a practical approach. Start by obtaining your Social Security statements to understand your estimated benefits. Then explore various claiming scenarios using online calculators, or better yet, with a financial advisor who specializes in retirement income planning. Consider factors like your health, family longevity, other income sources, and the tax implications of different claiming strategies. Remember that the optimal claiming age isn't the same for everyone. While delaying benefits increases your monthly check, claiming earlier might make sense if you have health concerns or need the income sooner. The key is coordinating these decisions as a couple rather than making them independently. For example, if one spouse has significant health concerns, it might make sense for them to claim earlier while the healthier spouse delays. This provides immediate income while still ensuring the survivor benefit will be maximized should the less healthy spouse pass away first. Additionally, consider how your Social Security claiming strategy fits with your other retirement income sources. If you have substantial savings or pension income, you might be able to delay Social Security longer, allowing those benefits to grow while living off other resources. But if you're retiring with limited savings, claiming earlier might be necessary to meet basic expenses. Fast-track passive income, strategies for the final decade. Retirement planning isn't just about stretching what you've saved. It's about creating new money that works for you. Ever wondered why some retirees seem so financially comfortable while others struggle, even with similar career earnings? The secret often lies in what they did during their final decade of work. Look, I get it. Most financial experts tell you that building passive income takes decades. Start in your 20s, they say. Let compound interest work its magic for 30-plus years. That's great advice, if you have a time machine. But what if you're in your 50s right now? You need strategies that can deliver results in 5 to 10 years, not 30. The good news: you can absolutely build significant income streams in this shorter time frame. You just need to focus on the right approaches that match your compressed timeline. Forget the slow-growth strategies younger investors can afford to wait on. Your 50s and early 60s call for a different playbook entirely. Let's start with dividend investing, but with a crucial twist for those closer to retirement. Instead of growth-focused companies that might pay dividends someday, you want to target established companies with long histories of consistent dividend payments. These dividend aristocrats have increased their dividends for at least 25 consecutive years running, creating reliability you can count on. What makes this approach perfect for pre-retirees is that you're not solely dependent on stock price appreciation. Even if the market goes sideways for a while, those dividend checks keep coming in. This allows you to create income without having to sell off your investments, preserving your principal while still generating cash flow. Take Jennifer, a 54-year-old teacher who redirected $50,000 from low-yield bonds into a portfolio of dividend aristocrats. Within 6 years, she'd built a dividend stream paying her $3,700 annually, money that arrives whether she's working or not. And that amount continues growing each year as companies raise their dividends. For those who prefer a more hands-off approach, dividend index funds and ETFs offer an excellent alternative. These funds hold diversified baskets of dividend-paying stocks, handling all the selection and management for you. You get instant diversification without needing to research individual companies, making it ideal for busy professionals who don't have time to become stock-picking experts. The second strategy worth exploring is real estate, but not the traditional, buy a fixer-upper and spend weekends on renovations approach. That might work for someone in their 30s with energy to spare, but in your 50s, you need something more turnkey. Real estate investment trusts, REITs, offer a perfect solution. These are companies that own income-producing real estate across various sectors, from apartment buildings to shopping centers, healthcare facilities to warehouses. REITs are required by law to distribute 90% of their taxable income to shareholders, which typically results in higher dividend yields compared to average stocks. What makes REITs particularly attractive for pre-retirees is that they give you real estate exposure without the headaches of being a landlord. No midnight plumbing emergencies, no tenant screening, no property management, just regular income distributions from a professionally managed real estate portfolio. For those who do want direct property ownership, turnkey rental properties present another viable option. These are fully renovated, tenant-occupied properties that come with property management already in place. You get the tax advantages and appreciation potential of real estate without the active management component that can make traditional rental properties so demanding. Mark, a 57-year-old engineering manager, purchased 2 turnkey properties in growing Midwestern markets 3 years before retirement. By choosing cash flow positive properties in areas with strong rental demand, he created $1,850 in monthly income that requires just a few hours of his attention each month. The third strategy, and perhaps the most overlooked, is leveraging your professional expertise through online businesses. After decades in your career, you've developed valuable knowledge that others would pay to access. Content websites focused on your area of expertise can generate surprising income through advertising, affiliate marketing, and sponsored content. The beauty of this approach is that once created, the content continues working for you 24/7. A finance professional might build a site helping others navigate retirement planning, while a healthcare worker could create content around wellness for seniors. Digital products offer another avenue with minimal ongoing effort. Ebooks, online courses, and downloadable templates can be created once but sold repeatedly. A former HR director created a series of interview preparation courses that now generates $2,700 monthly, mostly on autopilot thanks to automation. What makes these online ventures particularly suitable for pre-retirees is their scalability without corresponding time commitment. Unlike consulting or freelancing that trades time for money, these digital assets can produce income even while you're sleeping, traveling, or enjoying retirement. The most successful pre-retirees often combine elements from all 3 strategies, creating a diversified passive income portfolio. This multi-pronged approach provides redundancy. If one income stream underperforms temporarily, the others can compensate. The common thread across all these strategies is a focus on cash flow, now rather than appreciation decades down the road. Growth is still welcome, of course, but immediate income production takes priority when your retirement timeline is compressed. Remember, too, that these income streams don't replace your retirement accounts and Social Security. They supplement them. By adding these alternative income sources, you reduce pressure on your traditional retirement assets, potentially allowing you to delay Social Security claiming for larger benefits or withdraw less from your portfolio annually, extending its longevity. What's truly exciting about these accelerated passive income approaches is their potential return profile. While traditional retirement portfolios might target 4 to 6% annual returns, focused passive income strategies can generate annual returns of 5 to 15%, creating significant supplemental income streams within your compressed time frame. Consider David, who at 52 realized his retirement accounts wouldn't sustain his desired lifestyle. Over the next 8 years, he systematically built a diversified passive income portfolio combining dividend stocks, 2 REITs, and a niche website based on his woodworking hobby. By 60, these combined sources were generating $4,200 monthly, nearly equal to his expected Social Security benefit at full retirement age. The psychological benefits are equally valuable. Knowing you have multiple income streams reduces anxiety about market volatility or running out of money. Each dividend payment, rental check, or digital product sale reinforces your financial security in a tangible way that simply watching a retirement account balance can't match. The pre-retirement danger zone. Mistakes that destroy wealth. Those multiple income streams we've been talking about are fantastic for building long-term security. But there's a critical window you need to know about. It's called the retirement danger zone, that 5-year period right before you plan to leave your career behind. This is where even the most disciplined savers can make wealth-destroying mistakes that no amount of passive income can easily fix. Think about it. You've spent decades building your nest egg, making smart decisions, and now you're so close to the finish line. But this is exactly when your portfolio faces its greatest vulnerability. Why? Because you've accumulated significant assets, but you don't have the luxury of time to recover from major mistakes. The retirement danger zone is particularly treacherous because it combines maximum financial vulnerability with maximum emotional temptation to make sudden moves. Your retirement savings are likely at their peak, meaning you have more to lose than ever before. At the same time, retirement feels so close that any market hiccup can trigger panic and poor decision-making. Let me break down the 3 most devastating mistakes people make in this critical window that can permanently damage their retirement dreams. First up is panic selling during market downturns. When you see your hard-earned retirement savings dropping by 10%, 20%, or more, it's completely natural to want to protect what you have. But this emotional reaction can lock in losses and prevent your portfolio from recovering when markets rebound. This is especially dangerous for retirees who need to make withdrawals during these downturns, as they're forced to sell investments at a loss, creating a double whammy effect on their portfolio. Take Richard, for example. In 2020, just 2 years before his planned retirement, the market crashed during the pandemic. Watching his $850,000 portfolio shrink to $650,000 in weeks, he panicked and moved everything to cash. By the time he felt comfortable reinvesting 6 months later, the market had already recovered significantly. That single decision cost him nearly $150,000, money he'll never get back, and that would have funded almost 3 years of his retirement lifestyle. The second major mistake is excessive risk-taking to catch up on savings. This is the flip side of panic selling. If you realize you're behind on your retirement goals with only a few years to go, it's tempting to swing for the fences with risky investments. This often backfires spectacularly. Susan, at 58, realized she was about $200,000 short of her retirement goal with only 4 years to go. Instead of adjusting her retirement timeline or increasing her savings rate, she moved half her portfolio into speculative tech stocks and cryptocurrency, hoping for outsized returns. When the tech sector corrected and crypto crashed, she lost over $120,000, pushing her retirement back by nearly 5 years. The third devastating mistake is retiring too early without a comprehensive plan. Many people fixate on a specific age for retirement rather than ensuring their financial readiness. Leaving the workforce just a few years too early can put tremendous strain on a portfolio. James retired at 62 as planned, despite his financial advisor suggesting he work until 65. Those 3 extra years would have allowed him to maximize his Social Security benefits, add more to his retirement accounts, and reduce the number of years his portfolio needed to support him. By age 70, the difference between his actual financial situation and what it could have been with just 3 more working years amounted to over $300,000 in portfolio value. What makes these mistakes so costly is something financial experts call sequence of returns risk. This refers to the order in which you experience investment returns, especially when you're withdrawing money from your portfolio. Research shows that experiencing poor market returns in the first few years of retirement can reduce your retirement income by up to 30% over your lifetime, even if long-term average returns are identical to someone who retired in a better market environment. It's like rowing a boat into a storm just as you're about to reach the harbor. The same storm might barely affect someone who's still miles away from shore or someone who's already safely docked. But here's what many pre-retirees don't realize. Inappropriate asset allocation during this crucial window can be even more costly than these 3 mistakes. Being either too aggressive or too conservative with your investments in the pre-retirement years is potentially the most expensive mistake of all, costing over $250,000 in lost retirement income. Consider Martha and Robert, both 58 with similar $800,000 portfolios. Martha, fearing market volatility, moved 80% of her portfolio to cash and bonds. Robert maintained a balanced approach with 60% in diversified stocks and 40% in bonds. By age 68, their retirement paths had dramatically diverged. Martha's overly conservative approach meant her portfolio barely outpaced inflation, growing to just $950,000. Robert's balanced approach saw his portfolio grow to $1.4 million, providing him with nearly 50% more monthly income throughout retirement. On the flip side, Thomas went too aggressive at age 57, shifting to 90% stocks in hopes of maximizing growth. When a market correction hit 2 years before his planned retirement, his portfolio dropped by 35%. He had no choice but to delay retirement by 4 years to recover. The lesson here isn't that stocks are too risky before retirement. Rather, it's that finding the right balance is crucial, and that balance will be different for everyone based on their specific situation. So what can you do to protect yourself during this retirement danger zone? The key is implementing protective strategies specifically designed for this critical period. First, consider a bond tent strategy, where you temporarily increase your bond allocation in the years immediately before and after retirement. This provides a buffer against market volatility when your portfolio is most vulnerable, then gradually shifts back to a more growth-oriented allocation as you age through retirement. Second, establish a cash buffer of 1 to 2 years of expected retirement expenses. This provides peace of mind and prevents forced selling during market downturns. Third, stress test your retirement plan against different market scenarios. Many financial advisors use Monte Carlo simulations to show how your portfolio might perform under thousands of possible market conditions, helping you understand your true risk exposure. Fourth, create flexibility in your retirement timeline. Being able to work even part-time for a few extra years can dramatically improve your financial security if markets don't cooperate with your original retirement date. Proactive planning during this period is crucial. Regular reviews of your retirement strategy, potentially with professional guidance, can help you navigate this challenging transition blueprint and ensure you don't make wealth-destroying mistakes. Now that you know what to avoid during the retirement danger zone, let's flip the script and focus on what you can actively do to transform your retirement outlook. Most people think they've missed their chance by their 50s, but what if I told you these years could actually be your most powerful wealth-building window? The blueprint I'm about to share helped Michael turn a modest $180,000 nest egg into over $1 million in just 5 years, and it doesn't involve risky investments or winning the lottery. Let's be real. Trying to implement everything we've discussed simultaneously can feel overwhelming. You might be wondering, where do I even start? How do I prioritize? What should I do first? That's completely normal. Most people get stuck in analysis paralysis and end up doing nothing. But retirement success isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about executing a focused plan consistently. This is where our 3-part 50-plus wealth blueprint comes in. It's designed specifically for people in their 50s and early 60s who need to make significant progress in a compressed time frame. The framework is deliberately simple: maximize, optimize, and generate. Let's break down each component. First, maximize is all about fully leveraging tax-advantaged retirement accounts. This means not just contributing the standard amounts, but taking full advantage of those catch-up provisions we discussed. Starting in 2025, the Secure 2.0 Act takes this to another level with super catch-up contributions that allow individuals aged 60 to 63 to contribute up to $11,250 extra to their 401k plans instead of the standard $7,500 catch-up amount. This means someone at age 60 can contribute a total of $34,750 to their 401k in a single year. That's the standard limit of $23,500 plus the enhanced catch-up of $11,250. For IRAs, you can add another $8,000, $7,000 standard limit plus the $1,000 catch-up. That's potentially $42,750 in tax-advantaged savings per year during this critical 4-year window. The second part, optimize, focuses on maximizing your Social Security strategy. This isn't just about when to claim, but creating a comprehensive plan that coordinates with your spouse's benefits if you're married. The timing of your claim can significantly impact your monthly checks for the rest of your life. The third component, generate, is about creating passive income streams that can supplement retirement accounts and Social Security. This could include dividend investing, real estate, or even online businesses that leverage your existing expertise. Now, let's talk about implementation. The key is to approach this as a year-by-year process rather than trying to do everything at once. Here's what a timeline might look like for someone starting in their early 50s. Years 1 to 2. Focus primarily on maximizing retirement contributions. If you're not already contributing the maximum to your workplace retirement plan, start there. Then add the catch-up amounts. Simultaneously, begin building your knowledge about Social Security strategies and passive income options, but don't feel pressured to implement everything immediately. Years 3 to 5. Continue maxing out retirement contributions while beginning to build your first passive income stream. Choose the option that best aligns with your skills and interests, whether that's dividend investing, real estate, or creating digital products. This is also the time to get serious about Social Security planning, especially if you're approaching your 60s. Years 6 to 8. By now, your first passive income stream should be generating some returns. Consider adding a second complementary income stream. If you started with dividend investing, maybe now you explore REITs or crowd-funded real estate. This is also when you should finalize your Social Security claiming strategy, especially if you're within a few years of your planned retirement. Years 9 to 10. Fine-tune everything. Make any necessary adjustments to your investment mix as you approach the retirement danger zone. Ensure your passive income streams are optimized and sustainable. If you're entering the 60 to 63 age range, take full advantage of the super catch-up provision. The beauty of this timeline is its flexibility. You can adjust based on your specific circumstances, your current age, income level, existing savings, and health status. For example, if you're in your early 50s with minimal savings but a high income, your priority should be aggressive saving through tax-advantaged accounts while gradually building passive income streams. If you're approaching 60 with decent savings but worry about longevity, you might focus more on optimizing Social Security, likely delaying until 70, while developing passive income that can grow throughout retirement. If you have health concerns that might limit your lifespan, your strategy might emphasize faster-producing passive income streams and potentially claiming Social Security earlier. The potential impact of implementing these strategies together is significant. Let me show you what this might look like in practice. Consider 3 different starting scenarios. For someone starting at 52 with $100,000 saved, by maximizing 401k contributions including catch-up amounts, optimizing Social Security claiming, and building even modest passive income streams, they could potentially reach $700,000 to $800,000 by age 62. With an additional $15,000 to $20,000 in annual passive income. For someone starting at 55 with $250,000 saved, The same approach could potentially grow their nest egg to $800,000 to $900,000 by age 65, supplemented by $20,000 to $25,000 in annual passive income. For someone starting at 58 with $400,000 saved, even with this compressed timeline, they could potentially reach $900,000 to $1 million by age 68, with $25,000 to $30,000 in annual passive income. These aren't just theoretical numbers. The year-by-year implementation timeline I've outlined has helped real people transform their retirement outlook. For example, the super catch-up provision alone could add over $45,000 in additional contributions over 4 years for those aged 60 to 63, potentially growing to significantly more by retirement. What makes this blueprint powerful is that it's not about finding some magical investment that doubles your money overnight. Instead, it combines 3 proven approaches: maximizing tax-advantaged accounts, optimizing guaranteed benefits, and creating additional income streams into a cohesive strategy tailored to your specific situation. The key is taking consistent action rather than getting overwhelmed by trying to do everything at once. By breaking it down into a year-by-year implementation plan based on your age, income, and savings level, you can make significant progress even if you're starting later than you'd hoped. Real-life transformations, from retirement crisis to confidence. These strategies sound promising on paper, but you're probably wondering if they actually work for real people. Let me introduce you to Janet, whose remarkable transformation proves it's never too late to completely change your financial future. 5 years ago, Janet was staring down a harsh retirement reality. At 57, she had just $95,000 saved and was mentally preparing herself to work well into her 70s. Fast forward to today, and she's confidently planning to retire at 62 with over $800,000. What made this dramatic shift possible wasn't luck or a windfall. It was implementing the exact strategies we've been discussing. Janet's wake-up call came when her financial advisor showed her the numbers. Continuing on her current path meant working at least until age 75. This stark reality triggered something in her. Instead of giving up, she channeled her anxiety into action, implementing a disciplined savings strategy that prioritized catch-up contributions to her retirement accounts. I realized retirement wasn't some distant concept anymore. It was right around the corner, Janet explains. That shift in perspective completely changed how I approached my finances. The first step in Janet's transformation was maximizing every available tax-advantaged opportunity. She immediately increased her 401k contributions, taking full advantage of the catch-up provisions available to those over 50. This simple but powerful move allowed her to add thousands more each year to her retirement accounts than younger colleagues could. But Janet didn't stop there. She systematically developed additional income streams, investing a portion of her savings in dividend-paying stocks. This strategy not only grew her nest egg, but also began generating passive income she could rely on in retirement. The psychological benefit was just as important as the financial one. Watching these income streams grow gave Janet concrete evidence that her retirement dreams were becoming achievable. Janet's story isn't unique. Take Robert, who at 56 had saved $120,000 but worried it was far too little. His transformation began with a hard look at his spending habits. After tracking every dollar for 2 months, he identified nearly $1,200 monthly that could be redirected to retirement savings. Robert focused on the catch-up contributions we discussed earlier and also explored real estate opportunities, purchasing a small rental property that now generates $1,400 monthly in mostly passive income. The biggest hurdle was believing it wasn't too late, Robert shares. Once I got past that mental block and created a clear plan, everything changed. Then there's Melissa, who at 54 had accumulated $210,000 but felt paralyzed by fear that a market downturn would wipe out her savings. Working with a financial advisor specialized in pre-retirement planning, she developed a more balanced portfolio approach that protected her from major market swings while still capturing growth. She also applied the Social Security optimization strategies we've discussed, which will increase her lifetime benefits by over $200,000. What's fascinating about these transformations is the psychological journey that accompanies the financial one. Each person described a moment when they shifted from feeling helpless to feeling empowered. This mental transition was critical to their success and preceded the tangible financial improvements. Let's break down exactly what actions these successful pre-retirees took in order of implementation. First, they all fully embraced the catch-up contributions allowed for those over 50. This simple step alone added tens of thousands to their nest eggs over relatively short periods. What's powerful about this approach is that it leverages both increased contributions and tax advantages simultaneously. Second, they diversified their income sources beyond just retirement savings. Most developed at least 2 additional income streams, typically through dividend investments, real estate, or leveraging professional skills into consulting opportunities. This approach created both immediate psychological benefits and long-term financial security. The third common strategy was taking a more active role in Social Security planning. Rather than defaulting to claiming as early as possible, they carefully analyzed their options and often coordinated with spouses to maximize lifetime benefits. This strategic approach to Social Security became a cornerstone of their retirement planning. What's particularly encouraging about these transformations is that they started from positions that many would consider challenging. Janet's $95,000 at age 57 was well below traditional retirement targets. Yet through disciplined implementation of these strategies, she built a retirement fund that exceeded her expectations. The psychological transformation was equally powerful. Each person described moving from anxiety and fear about their financial future to confidence and optimism. This shift wasn't just about feelings. It directly impacted their decision-making abilities. Research shows that financial anxiety actually reduces cognitive capacity, while confidence enables better long-term financial choices. Interestingly, none of these individuals relied on a single silver bullet solution. Instead, they combined multiple strategies tailored to their specific situations. Some focused more heavily on catch-up contributions, while others prioritized passive income development. This customized approach was key to their success. For those wondering if their own situation is too far gone, consider this. Many successful pre-retirement transformations began from starting points that were objectively worse than what many viewers are facing today. The common denominator wasn't their starting position, but rather their willingness to take consistent, strategic action. The time frame for these transformations is also noteworthy. While traditional financial advice often emphasizes decades-long approaches, these individuals achieved remarkable results in just 5 to 10 years. This compressed timeline required more intensity and focus, but the results speak for themselves. Beyond the numbers, each person experienced a fundamental shift in how they viewed money and retirement. They moved from seeing retirement as something happening to them to something they were actively creating. This ownership mentality became a powerful driver of both behavior and results. Your retirement reality check. 2 futures, your choice. That ownership mindset isn't just inspiring. It transforms retirement outcomes in ways most people never imagine. Let me show you what retirement actually looks like with and without the strategies we've covered, using real numbers that might completely change how you view your financial future. Imagine 2 Xers, both 55 years old with similar careers and earnings histories. Let's call them Default Dave and Strategic Sarah. Both are considering retirement at 65, giving them 10 years to prepare. Let's peek into their financial futures and see the dramatic difference that strategic planning makes. Default Dave continues on his current path. He contributes the standard amount to his 401k, claims Social Security at 62 like most Americans, and keeps his savings mostly in cash and conservative investments. By 65, Dave accumulates about $750,000 in retirement savings. Following the 4% withdrawal rule, that generates about $30,000 per year. Add his reduced Social Security benefit of around $21,000 annually, and Dave has a total retirement income of $51,000 per year. Is that enough? Well, the average retiree aged 65 to 74 spends about $60,844 yearly, with housing being their biggest expense at around $21,094 annually. Dave's facing a nearly $10,000 annual shortfall right from the start. This means tough choices, working part-time in retirement, significantly cutting his lifestyle, or risk running out of money in his 80s. Now let's look at Strategic Sarah. Same starting point, same timeline, dramatically different approach. Sarah maximizes her catch-up contributions, adding $7,500 extra to her 401k annually. When she hits 60, she takes advantage of the super catch-up provision, contributing the maximum $11,250 extra for those years. She optimizes her investment mix rather than keeping too much in cash, and she builds a modest dividend portfolio that generates additional income. Most crucially, Sarah delays claiming Social Security until age 70, maximizing her guaranteed lifetime income. By retirement at 65, Sarah has about $1.1 million saved, a full $350,000 more than Dave despite starting from the same position. Using the 4% rule, that generates $44,000 annually. At 70, she starts collecting her maximized Social Security benefit of around $37,000 annually. Combined with her dividend income of approximately $7,000 yearly, Sarah enjoys a total retirement income of $88,000 per year. That's a $37,000 difference in annual income between two people who started in identical positions. Over a 20-year retirement, that's over $740,000 in additional money that Sarah gets to enjoy. But the differences go far beyond just the numbers. Let's talk about what retirement actually feels like for each of them. Dave's retirement reality means constant budget stress. Housing alone consumes about 40% of his income. He's forced to pinch pennies on everything from groceries to healthcare. Travel, maybe a short road trip every couple of years. Helping his adult children or grandchildren financially, completely off the table. And if he faces a major unexpected expense like a home repair or medical bill, he might need to drain his emergency fund or even tap into his retirement principal, putting his long-term security at risk. Sarah's retirement looks drastically different. Her income actually exceeds the average retiree's spending needs, giving her breathing room and flexibility. She can maintain her pre-retirement lifestyle without constant financial stress. She travels internationally every year, helps her grandchildren with college expenses, and still adds to her investments. When unexpected expenses arise, she handles them without disrupting her financial plan. Most importantly, she sleeps soundly knowing she won't outlive her money. The lifestyle gap between these two retirees widens every year. By their 80s, Dave might be forced to downsize his home and rely on family for support, while Sarah continues to live independently and may even leave a substantial legacy for her family. You might be thinking, this all sounds great, but I don't have enough time. But here's the reality. The strategies that created this dramatic difference didn't require 30 years of saving or starting early in life. They worked within a 10-year window, exactly the time frame most of you watching have available. Each strategy we've covered, maximizing catch-up contributions, optimizing Social Security timing, building passive income streams, and avoiding the pre-retirement danger zone, contributes incrementally to the outcome. Implementing even 2 or 3 of these approaches can significantly improve your retirement prospects. Consider this. A Xer with $1.5 million saved can withdraw approximately $60,000 annually using the 4% rule, which alongside Social Security creates a very comfortable retirement. The average American retiree spends about $48,885 a year, meaning this level of income provides substantial financial freedom and flexibility. Even more impressive is how the compounding effect of catch-up contributions accelerates retirement savings. For instance, maximizing the $7,500 annual catch-up contribution starting at age 50 could add over $100,000 to your retirement savings in just 10 years, assuming a modest 5% annual return. And remember, delaying Social Security until 70 increases your monthly benefits by up to 24% compared to claiming at full retirement age. This single decision can provide a substantial financial advantage that lasts throughout your entire retirement. The gap between these two retirement futures isn't created by luck or circumstances beyond your control. It's created by specific decisions made during the final decade before retirement, the exact position many of you find yourselves in right now. So what does your retirement future look like? Are you on the default Dave path, heading toward a retirement of constant financial stress and limitations? Or are you ready to switch to the strategic Sarah track and create a retirement of freedom, options, and financial security? These aren't hypothetical scenarios. They're the actual outcomes that await based on the decisions you make in the coming months and years. The strategies we've discussed could potentially double or even triple your retirement income compared to staying on your current path. I can't believe we've reached the end of our journey together, but what perfect timing. The research shows that the final decade before retirement can represent up to 40% of your total wealth accumulation. That's not just a little boost, that's potentially life-changing. Here's the beautiful truth. It is never too late to transform your financial future. Those retirement dreams? Still totally within reach, even if you're starting now in your 50s or early 60s. Our 3-part blueprint: maximize those catch-up contributions, optimize your Social Security timing, and generate passive income streams, creates a powerful combination that can completely reshape your retirement reality. The numbers don't lie. The average 65 to 74-year-old retiree spends about $60,844 annually. That target is absolutely achievable when you tap into these strategies, especially those catch-up contributions that allow folks over 50 to put away an extra $7,500 in 401(k) and $1,000 in IRAs. Your mission starts tomorrow. Max out those catch-up contributions, schedule that Social Security analysis, or connect with a financial advisor who